Hello everyone, hope you're having an amazing day. In today's video, we're diving into the moment Jack finally gets a positive signal from Min Hung Group, only to be ambushed on a lonely road and rushed to the hospital unconscious. Will he survive, and can he still fight for the biggest project of his life? If you enjoy the story, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next episodes. That afternoon, Jack drives home in his white car with a strange kind of energy in his chest, half relief, half pressure. The meeting with Min Hung Group didn't end with a signature, but it ended with something that feels almost as powerful, a positive signal, a real opening. He keeps replaying the representative's words in his head. Impressed. We'll review. Long road together. On paper, it's not a yes. In Jack's heart, it's the closest thing to hope he's felt in a long time. But the moment hope arrives, another shadow follows it. Money. The project is huge. The capital needed up front is the kind of number that makes a person stop breathing for a second. Jack knows he can do the work. He knows his team can deliver. What he doesn't know is how to carry that much weight without crushing the small life he's built at home. He pulls into the yard just before sunset. The sky is dimming fast, the garden already wrapped in winter blue. Tu Tien is outside near the vegetable beds, one hand holding a small watering can, the other guiding Anna, 15
That's
months
right,
old,
sweetheart.
two tiny braids bouncing as the little girl helps by splashing more water on her own shoes than on the plants. When Anna spots the white car, she squeals and waddles forward, arms open, face shining like Jack is a holiday. "Bah!" she yells, not perfectly, but close enough to punch straight into his heart. Jack lifts her up and kisses her cheek. "Hey, my boss, did you take care of Mum today?" Anna pats his blazer like she's checking his pockets for snacks. Tu Tien walks over slowly, smiling, but he sees it again. The tiredness behind her eyes, the slight stiffness in her movements. She hides it quickly like she's practiced. "How was the meeting?" she asks, voice soft. Jack exhales. "Not signed yet, but it's good. He was impressed. He said they'll review and respond soon." Tu Tien's smile widens for real this time. "That's huge, Jack." "It is," he agrees. Then, without meaning to, his voice drops. "And it's terrifying." They go inside. Tu Tien sets Anna on the floor with a bowl of toy blocks. The little girl immediately starts stacking them wrong on purpose, then clapping like she built a skyscraper. In the kitchen, Jack loosens his tie and leans against the counter, staring at nothing. "I keep doing the math," he admits. "Even if I pull every partner, even if I borrow, even if I stretch payments, it's still heavy. One mistake and everything collapses." Tu Tien pours him warm tea. "You've carried heavy things before." "Not like this," he says, rubbing his face. "This isn't just a job. This could put us in a new niche, new level, new clients, new stability, or new disaster." Tu Tien nods like she understands every word, because she does. She's been standing beside him through every struggle, every late-night calculation, every season when they survived by stubbornness alone. But tonight, she's also fighting something else, something she refuses to name out loud. Jack doesn't notice the way she briefly presses her fingers to her temple before turning back to the stove. He doesn't notice the faint scratch marks on her forearm where she's tried not to itch. Or maybe he notices and pretends he didn't, because both of them have become experts at protecting each other from fear. Anna suddenly drags a blanket across the floor and tries to wrap it around her stuffed turtle. Tu Tien laughs softly and helps her. "Mommy, Anna insists, pointing to the turtle. Ow! You want a jacket for Turtle? Tu Tien teases. Okay, okay. Jack watches them, warmth twisting with worry in his chest. Tu, he says carefully. You've been tired lately. Are you sure you're okay? Tu Tien's smile doesn't shake, but her eyes flicker for half a second. I'm fine. Just winter and chasing this little monster all day. Anna hears monster and laughs like it's a compliment. Jack wants to push. He wants to ask harder. But his phone buzzes with a message from his project manager. Team is waiting for your decision about financing options. The pressure returns instantly. Jack's shoulders tense. Tu Tien sees it and steps closer. Don't worry about me, she whispers. Focus on your project. You've worked too hard to let doubt eat you now. Jack nods, grateful, but it also hurts a little because he can feel she's hiding something, and he hates that he can't prove it. That night, after Anna falls asleep, they sit together at the small table. Papers spread out, numbers, timelines, options. Jack talks quietly about loans and partners. Tu Tien listens and offers gentle suggestions like someone trying to hold a fragile thing steady. And somewhere far away behind cold walls and metal bars, another mind is working too. In prison, Tone sits on a narrow bed and stares at the ceiling like he can burn a hole through it. The last time he heard Jack's name, it wasn't about victory. It was about humiliation, arrest, handcuffs, court, the sentence, the fall. Every day inside has been a lesson in powerlessness, being pushed, being used, being reminded that the world doesn't care what he used to be. But Tone isn't the type to accept a lesson. He's the type to turn it into rage. He leans toward a man with a scar along his jaw, an older inmate known for connections outside. You still have people, Tone says quietly. Scarface narrows his eyes. Depends what you're asking. I want Jack, Tone answers. Not dead, not yet. I want him broken first. I want him afraid. Scarface smirks. Fear costs money. Tone's laugh is dry. I can pay. I still have hidden channels. You think everything I built disappeared? I lost the court, not my brain. Scarface studies him, then nods slightly. Two guys outside owe me favors. If you're serious, I can make a call. Toan's eyes sharpen. I'm serious. The next day, two men in hoodies and cheap helmets receive instructions on a burner phone. They don't ask why, they don't ask who Jack is, they just hear quiet road, evening, teach him a lesson, and they nod, because that's how hired cruelty works. No questions, only action. The following afternoon, Jack finishes a long meeting at the company, then drives to check a site on the edge of town. He stays later than planned because the soil report needs reviewing and the workers keep asking questions. By the time he heads home, the sky is already fading. The road he takes cuts between wide, empty fields. It's a shortcut, fewer lights, fewer houses, just cold wind sweeping across dry grass and the distant shape of mountains. Inside the car, Jack's phone sits on the passenger seat with more messages waiting. His mind keeps spinning, financing, risk, schedules, Min Hung's response. He doesn't see the motorbike behind him at first. Then another one appears. Two bikes, riding a little too close, too steady, too silent. Jack's instincts rise. He checks the mirror again. The bikes accelerate. Before he can react, one bike swerves and blocks his lane. The other moves up on the side, forcing him to slow. Jack's heart thumps hard. What the? He mutters, gripping the wheel. He brakes, trying not to lose control. The white car rolls to a stop on the empty road. The men step off their bikes. Helmets down, faces half covered. One carries a thick wooden stick. Jack reaches for his phone, but one of them slams a hand onto the window. "Step out!" the voice growls. Jack's mind races. Robbery? Revenge? He thinks of Tu Tien, of Anna, of the project, of everything depending on him still standing. He forces the door open and steps out slowly, hands visible. "What do you want?" he demands. The first hit comes too fast, straight to his ribs. Pain explodes. He stumbles back. The second man swings the stick toward his shoulder. Jack tries to block it, but the impact sends shock down his arm. He fights back, but there are two of them, and they came prepared. A blow catches his head. The world tilts. Sound becomes distant. He drops to one knee. Cold dirt presses into his palm. His vision blurs. He tastes blood. Then, somewhere down the road, a shout cuts through the air. "Hey, what are you doing?" A farmer appears, pushing a bicycle loaded with sacks. He's older, but his voice is loud enough to shake the field. He lifts a hoe like a weapon and runs forward, yelling again, drawing attention from somewhere unseen. "Thieves! Help! Help!" The two attackers freeze. They didn't plan for witnesses. They didn't plan for noise. "Go!" one hisses. They jump back onto their bikes and speed off into the fading light, leaving Jack collapsed beside his car. The farmer rushes to Jack, kneels, panic rising. "Brother, brother, can you hear me?" Jack doesn't answer. His eyes are half open, unfocused. His body is limp. The farmer fumbles for his phone with shaking hands. 114, 114. "We need an ambulance. Someone's been attacked on the field road. He's unconscious." He looks at the white car, then back at Jack's face. "Hold on," he whispers. "Please hold on." And as the sky darkens completely, sirens begin to wail somewhere far away, rushing toward the quiet road, where Jack's biggest dream and his worst nightmare have collided at the same time. The ambulance arrives with its light slicing the darkness. The quiet field road turns chaotic in seconds. Boots on gravel, radios crackling, the sharp smell of antiseptic mixing with cold wind and dust. The farmer keeps pointing with shaking hands. They came from that side. Two motorbikes, helmets. They hit him and ran. A paramedic kneels beside Jack, checks his pulse, shines a light into his eyes. Another cuts open the collar of Jack's blazer, places pads on his chest, listens, nods fast. "Unconscious," one says. "Possible head trauma, bruising on ribs. Get him stabilized now." They lift Jack onto the stretcher. His head lolls slightly. His face looks strangely calm, like he's sleeping, but the blood at the corner of his mouth tells the truth. The farmer swallows hard as they load Jack into the ambulance. "Will he live?" the farmer asks, voice breaking. "We'll do everything," the paramedic answers, already climbing in. "Thank you for calling." The doors slam shut. The siren rises again, and the ambulance disappears into the night toward the city hospital. At home, Tu Tien is in the kitchen, trying to keep her hands busy. Anna toddles around her feet with a small toy spoon, tapping it against a metal bowl like she's cooking too. Every now and then she looks up and calls, "Ba! Ba!" like she's expecting the white car to roll in any second. Tu Tien forces a smile each time. "Ba will be home soon, Con." But her chest is tight. Jack said he would come back early today. He hasn't. Her phone sits on the table. No new messages, just silence. She wipes her hands on a towel and looks out the window at the dark lane. The cold presses on the glass like a warning. Then her phone rings. An unknown number. Her stomach drops before she even answers. "Hello," she says, voice already trembling. A man's voice comes through, rough and urgent. "Are you family of Mr. Jack? He had an accident on the field road. I'm the one who found him. Ambulance just took him to the hospital." For a second, Tu Tien can't breathe. "Hospital?" she whispers. "Which hospital? Is he awake?" "I don't know. He was unconscious. Please hurry." The call ends. Tu Tien's knees go weak. She grips the edge of the table so she doesn't collapse. A high buzzing starts at the base of her skull, but she ignores it. There is only one thing that matters now. "Anna," she says, voice shaking. "Con, come here." Anna toddles over, sensing the shift in her mother's tone. Tu Tien scoops her up, hugging her tight enough to feel the little heartbeat through the pajamas. Then she calls Mother Loy. The moment the older woman hears Jack and hospital, she doesn't ask anything else. "I'm coming. I'll call Uncle Dung."
"Get your bag and the baby. Go now." Tu Tien moves like a person in a dream. She grabs diapers, a bottle, a blanket. She throws on a coat for Anna, pulls a hat down over the two tiny braids. She doesn't even realize her hands are shaking until she can't tie the string properly. "Mommy," Anna whimpers, confused. "I'm here," Tu Tien whispers, kissing her forehead. "I'm right here." They walk because Jack isn't home to drive. Tu Tien carries Anna, half running down the lane toward the nearest point where she can catch a ride. The cold bites her cheeks. Her breath comes out in sharp clouds. Her body aches, but fear is stronger than pain. A neighbor sees her and stops his motorbike. "Tu Tien, what happened?" "Please," she begs. "Hospital, Jack, please." He doesn't ask again. He nods once, turns the bike around, and drives them fast toward the city, Tu Tien clinging on with Anna pressed against her chest. The hospital lights are too bright. The air smells like disinfectant and worry. Tu Tien rushes in, carrying Anna, hair messy, face pale, eyes wide. At the emergency desk, she can barely speak. "My husband, Jack, he was brought in. Attacked. Please, where is he?" A nurse checks the name, points. "Emergency room. Family can wait outside." Outside the doors, Tu Tien stands frozen. Anna squirms in her arms, getting fussy from the harsh lights and unfamiliar noise. "Pa?" Anna says softly, as if the word could summon him. Tu Tien bites down hard on her lip. She refuses to cry yet, not until she knows. Footsteps rush down the corridor. Mother Loy and Uncle Dung arrive, faces tight with panic. Mother Loy grabs Tu Tien's shoulders. "Where is he?" "In there," Tu Tien whispers. Her voice breaks. "They said he was unconscious." Mother Loy's eyes fill with tears, but she holds it in. She reaches for Anna. "Give me the baby. You need your hands free." Anna goes into Grandma's arms, still looking around, searching. Tu Tien finally collapses into the chair by the wall. The cold fear that has lived in her chest for days now explodes into something bigger. "What if he doesn't wake up?" she whispers, barely audible. What if this project, this life, ends tonight?" Uncle Dung paces like a trapped animal. "Who would do this? Jack doesn't have enemies left. Torn is in prison." At the name, Tu Tien's stomach twists. She remembers the way Jack said Tuan's hatred didn't die, it only changed shape. Mother Loy sits beside Tu Tien and takes her hand. Her voice is low, steady, like a blanket over a trembling body. "Listen to me," she says. "Jack is strong. He has survived bigger storms than this. He will come back. For you, for Anna, for all of us." Tu Tien nods, but her eyes stay locked on the closed doors. Minutes stretch like hours. Anna gets restless. Mother Loy bounces her gently, whispering songs. Anna's face crumples and she begins to cry, softly, tired and scared. "Shh," Mother Loy murmurs. "Ba will be okay. Ba will come out." Tu Tien stands up again, unable to sit still. She presses her palm to her own stomach, feeling a sudden wave of nausea, then forces it down. Not now. She cannot fall apart now. At last the doors open. A doctor steps out, mask lowered, eyes serious. Family rushes forward. The doctor looks at Tu Tien. "You are his wife?" "Yes," she answers, voice trembling. Is he dying?" The doctor shakes his head. "He's alive. His vital signs are stable." Tu Tien nearly collapses from relief. "But," the doctor continues, "he has a concussion and trauma to the ribs. We are monitoring for internal bleeding. He may not wake immediately. The next 24 hours are important." Tu Tien's relief turns into trembling fear again. "Can we see him?" she asks. "One at a time," the doctor says. "He's being moved to observation." Jack lies in a hospital bed under harsh lights. A bandage wraps part of his head. His face is bruised, lips dry, eyes closed. Tu Tien steps to his side like she's walking on a cliff edge. She takes his hand and feels warmth. Real warmth, not cold. "Jack," she whispers, voice breaking. "I'm here. Please open your eyes. Please." His fingers don't squeeze back, but he breathes steadily, chest rising and falling. She presses her forehead to his hand and finally lets tears fall. "I kept hiding things," she whispers into the silence. "I kept telling myself I could handle everything alone. But I can't. I can't lose you." Behind her, Mother Loy holds Anna near the doorway. The baby sees her father and reaches out, small hand opening and closing. "Bah!" Anna says, soft and confused. Tu Tien turns and pulls Anna close to the bed so Jack can hear that tiny voice if his mind is somewhere deep. "Your girl is here," Tu Tien whispers. "Come back to us." Outside the room, police officers begin to arrive. Questions start forming. A report will be written, CCTV will be checked, the farmer will give his statement, and far away behind prison walls, Tone will hear the news soon. And whether Jack survives or not, the hatred that drove this attack is already preparing its next move. But for this moment, none of that matters. All that matters is Jack's hand in Tu Tien's, Anna's small voice in the air, and the fragile hope that he will wake up in time, not only to fight for the biggest project of his life, but to stay alive for the family that has been waiting for him every day. Jack gets a promising signal from Min Hung Group, but hope turns into pressure as he worries about the capital needed for the biggest project of his life. At home, Tu Tien supports him while hiding her own pain, and 15-month-old Anna follows her everywhere, softening the stress. One evening, on a lonely road between fields, two hired thugs ambush Jack and beat him unconscious. A passing farmer scares them off, calls an ambulance, and Jack is rushed to the hospital with head and rib injuries. Tu Tien alerts Mother Loy and Uncle Dung, rushes in with Anna, and waits outside the ER in terror. The doctor says Jack is alive but must be monitored closely. Her secret illness keeps getting worse. Police arrive to investigate the staged attack. While in prison, Tone hears the news, fumes and plots revenge.